You guys smell that? Smells like the number one seed in the NFC. Man, what a defensive battle that was for Seattle on Saturday. We'll get into it. Welcome back to the channel. Today's my Week 18 NFL recap. The regular season has come to an end. Comes and goes so fast every single season. Nothing we can do about it though, but the playoffs are next week, or technically this week. Best time of the football year. Enjoy the video, and as always, go Hawks. Starting off with Saturday, the Bucs take care of the Panthers 16-14, but it doesn't matter because the Carolina Panthers have won the NFC South thanks to the Falcons beating the Saints. Good job, Panthers. Bryce Young, 266, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. The weather conditions in this game were just flat out terrible. Like, it was pissing down rain this entire game. The rushing was useless, but Rico Dowdle got an extra $1 million because he got 7 rushing yards, so good job. Tat with 85 touchdowns for Coker and Tommy Tremble. Dowdle and McMillan lost fumbles. Derek Brown with 13 tackles. They got to Baker twice. Roseboom with an interception. Stupid throw by Baker Mayfield. Fitzgerald 2 points and 3 punts for Sam Martin. Now Tampa. Baker Mayfield 203, a touchdown and a horrible interception. Bucky with 85 rushing yards. K-Dot 94 and a nice touchdown. He probably his best game of the year. Mike Evans, his streak of 1,000 yards comes to an end, unfortunately. The injuries that he dealt with this year killed that. Baker fumbled. David with 6 tackles. If that was his last game in the NFL, happy retirement. Parrish with an interception. 10 points for McLaughlin. 3 punts for Riley Dixon. Now we have the Seahawks beating down the Niners 13-3, completely shutting down the Niners' offense and defense, just shutting them down in general. Sam Darnold, 198, didn't really have to do much because our rushing game was fucking lethal. Both Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet just looked like fucking Barry Sanders for absolutely no reason, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. JSN, 84 yards, is now the leading receiver for the regular season, so fantastic job there. Darnold fumbled. Charbonnet picked it up. Demon Worry, 7 tackles everywhere for the Seahawks in this game. Really between him and Schlesinger from the Browns for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I really want it to be Nick, but I think with the games he's missed this year, they're going to give it to Schlesinger. We got 3 sacks. Jaron Reed, Nwosu, Derek Hall. Just the pressure was there all night from Seattle. Drake Thomas had a fantastic interception in the red zone, thanks to McCaffrey, turning it into Nelson Aguilar when it comes to catching. Nice. Myers, 7 points, missed 2 field goals, looked horrible. Dixon, only a punt. And speaking of looking horrible, the Niners, Brock Purdy, 127, no touchdowns, and a pick. McCaffrey held him to 23 yards. He looked like shit in this game. Juwan Jennings led the team at 35 receiving yards, no fumbles, 8 tackles for Green, a sack for Bethune, who got injured like twice in this game. Other sack went to Sam, and then they didn't have any interceptions. All their points came from Eddie Pinheiro and 4 punts for Thomas Morstead. Number 1 seed in the NFC, and we extended Charles Cross on Sunday, so he's just been having a great weekend. Yeah, man. Home field advantage for the playoffs. Get an extra week of rest. Get to let Kobe Bryant and Charles Cross heal and come back. Man, I'm nervous, but man, I'm so fucking excited for the playoffs. Now for Sunday, I watched quite literally no football on Sunday. I was coming back home, or coming back to college during all the games, so We'll see what I can do. I did watch a little bit of this game before actually leaving, so I saw Riley Leonard. He honestly looked really good for his first NFL start. 270, 2 touchdowns, a pick. They ran a fake punt. That was about the last play I saw. That shit was funny. Rushing was absolutely useless. Alec Pierce, 4 for 132 and 2 touchdowns. Go route merchant, blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. Also, he got ejected for literally no reason. That was soft. Leonard did lose 2 fumbles, so that was kind of ugly. 12 tackles for Zaire Franklin. They didn't get a sack or a pick on either Stroud or Mills. 12 points for Gruppy, 2 points for Sanchez, and now the winning team, the Texans. Stroud 169 and a score. British Brooks, whoever that is, 63 rushing yards. CJ Stroud had the rushing touchdown. Hutchinson for 84. Schultz had a nice one-handed catch. Higgins had the touchdown. Tommy and Henry picked up fumbles. 6 tackles for Will Anderson. They got 1 sack, and it came from Danielle Hunter, one of the most underrated players in the NFL. And a pick from Huzzy. 20 points for Fairbairn. And 3 points for Townsend. Now we have the Giants dismantling the Cowboys, 34-17. Joe Milton, I think, played the second half. I don't honestly know, but none of the quarterbacks for Dallas did anything. Jaden Blue scored his first NFL touchdown. Phil Maffa had a touchdown. Flournoy had 68 receiving yards. Dak Prescott lost a fumble. James with 13 tackles and a half a sack. They got 4 sacks on the day, 3 coming from Jadeveon Clowney in 2026. Absurd, but hell yeah, Unk still got it. No picks, 5 points for Aubrey, 2 points from Anger. The Giants, Jackson Dart, 230, 2 touchdowns, had an insane throw for a touchdown that went to, I believe it was Bellinger on like a screen. Tyron Tracy had a great game. Singletary had the rushing touchdown. 102 for Gunner. Touchdowns went to Tracy and Bellinger through the air. 13 tackles for Dane Belton. No sacks, but Okereke got an interception. Sauls with 14 points and 2 points for Gillen. The Giants lose out on the number 1 pick and drop to, I believe, the 7th pick because they had 2 straight wins to end the year. Good job. Browns take care of the Bengals in their end of the season, 20-18. Myles Garrett is now the single-season sack leader. He got it with like 5 minutes left in the game, and Zach Taylor got pissed the fuck off. Same with Jamar Chase because they stopped the game to let the Browns celebrate. Like, bro, the Bengals, you guys are so ass. Who cares? You're not playing for anything besides pride. So, like, let the Browns celebrate that. It's a huge milestone. Shedeur, he didn't really do anything. I mean, the Browns didn't have to do much because both their touchdowns were defensive touchdowns. Sampson with 32 rushing yards. The receiving, as you look at these stats from Shedeur, trash. So, yeah. He did lose a fumble. Devin Bush, 14 tackles. Delpit with a sack. Myles Garrett got the other sack. Devin Bush had a 97-yard pick six. I believe Sam Webb had the recovery touchdown for the Browns as well, so nice. Smite with 8 tackles and 5 punts for Corey. Joe Burrow, 236, 3 touchdowns, and a horrible interception. Chase Brown, 72 yards, ends his, honestly, great second half of the season on a semi-high note. Jamar and T. Higgins scored. Chase Brown scored through the air as well. Noah Fant lost a fumble, 8 tackles for Hill, and they got 6 sacks on the Browns, but they couldn't win. Nice. Really nice. McPherson did nothing. He missed both of his extra points. And 5 punts for Reckow. Falcons beat the Saints 19-17. Shuck, 259, a touchdown, a pick. I think Shuck has a great future in the NFL. Estime, 63 rushing yards. Shuck had the touchdown. Juwan Johnson, 61 yards. Ronnie Bell had the touchdown towards the end of the game. Johnson lost a fumble. They got 4 total sacks. Granderson and Chase Young had 1.5 each. Cam Jordan, a sack, and possibly his final game in the NFL. Who knows? Who knows if he still wants to play? Granderson also got an interception. He just had one fucking hell of a day. 5 points for Smith and 4 points for Kroger, and now the Falcons Kirk Cousins, I mean, the Falcons didn't even really play all that well. The Saints just didn't really do much. 180, a touchdown, and a pick for Kirk. The rushing, abysmal. Drake London, 78 and a touchdown, ending his season on a high note. Watts recovered a fumble. He's been having a phenomenal season for the Falcons. 9 tackles for Alford. They got 4 sacks. D. Alford also got a pick. Gonzalez with 13 points and 4 points for Pinion. Vikings beat the Packers 16-3. LaFleur is so petty. He called a timeout with a second left in this game to avoid being shut out. What a fucking loser, dude. Clayton Tune did nothing. He had -7 passing yards. Nice. The rushing was at least decent. Chris Brooks, 61. Manuel Wilson had a -19-yard run in this game, so great job. Kenny James led the team with 15 receiving yards. Nice. Tune lost a fumble. Johnson with 10 tackles. They got 2 sacks coming from Brenton Cox and Baron Sorrell. No interceptions. 3 points for McManus, 8 points for Whelan. And now the Vikings, McCarthy, 182, no touchdowns. He actually pulled himself out of the game like Richardson did for the Colts last year because his hand was messed up. So Brosmer came in, and he had one hell of a low light. He thought a play was over, so he just kind of spiked the ball or something, but play was still going, and it was a fumble. So average Mac Brosmer moment. Mason with 94 rushing yards. Justin Jefferson ends the season on a high note, gets his 1,000 yards, I believe. Got 101 yards in this game. Brosmer, yep, there's the lost fumble. 9 tackles for Eric Wilson. They got 4 sacks, 2 coming from Dallas Turner. So congrats there. They had a standing ovation for Harrison Smith as he exited the field for the possible final time. Harry the Hitman. NFL's going to suck without him. Reichard with 10 points and 4 points for Ryan Wright. Jags waxed the Titans 41-7. I mean, Cam Ward did the only scoring for the Titans before leaving with the shoulder injury. There's really nothing to go over for the Titans. They got 2 sacks from Simmons and Harrell. Cool. Jacksonville, T-Law, 255, 3 touchdowns. Phenomenal. What else are we going to say at this point about him? Man, I was wrong about the Jags this year. I thought they were going to be absolute ass. I said they'd win this division with 9 wins. No, they won it with 13. So I was half right there. Half right. ETN 32, Bashal Tootin had the touchdown. Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, and Quentin Morris had the receiving touchdowns. Parker Washington recovered a fumble. He's been balling in the last month of football. 8 tackles for Alua Khan. They had 1 sack coming from Smoot. Antonio Johnson had a pick 6 off of Kyle Allen, 11 points for Cam Little, including a 67-yarder right before half, and 3 points for Cook. Rams demolished the Cardinals 37-20. I mean, what else is new? Jacoby Brissett, 243, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. The rushing absolutely useless. Michael Wilson caps off his great last 6 weeks of football, 99 yards and a touchdown. DeGuara got a receiving touchdown as well. Brissett lost a fumble, 10 tackles for Thompson, and they got 1 sack from Josh Sweat. No interceptions, 8 points for Ryland, 2 points for Hack. And now the Rams, Stafford played himself back into the MVP convo, 259, 4 touchdowns. Kyron Williams with 60 rushing yards. Higbee, 91 and a score. Puka, 10 catches, had an insane touchdown catch. Colby Parkinson, 2 touchdowns. Good job there. Kobe Turner recovered a fumble. McCullough with 7 tackles. 2 sacks for Dejuan Johnson, the Mr. Irrelevant from the 2023 draft class. Nice. They got 6 sacks on the day on Brissett. Nice. Akella Witherspoon, former Seahawk, with an interception. Mevis Thicker the kicker with 13 points and 2 punts for Evans. Broncos beat the Chargers to claim the number 1 seed in the AFC for the first time since 2015, 19-3. Trey Lance, 136, no touchdowns, a pick. Not really his fault, bounced off the receiver's head, and I believe it was a pick 6. He led the team with 69 rushing yards, nice. Keenan Allen, 36 receiving yards. I believe he got an incentive as well, so congrats. Trey Lance lost a fumble. They got 4 sacks total, 1 coming from Phillips. Tony Jefferson led the team with 8 tackles. 2 sacks from Justin. No interceptions. Dicker with 3 points. 7 points for J.K. Scott. And now the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix, 141. Didn't really have to do much. I mean, their defense did most of the work for them, so what else can we really say? Bo Nix, 49 rushing yards as well. Evan Ingram, 45 receiving yards. Savion Jones recovered a fumble. Strand with 8 tackles and a sack. They got 4 total sacks. Nick Menino counting for 1.5 of them. Nice. McMillan with a pick 6. Willux with 13 points and 6 points for Crashaw. Raiders beat the Chiefs to cap off their season 14-12. I believe I picked the Raiders just because, like, fuck it, right? And I was actually correct somehow. It was both Aludicon and Buscelli playing in this game. No one did anything. Just really no one did anything for the Chiefs. Hollywood Brown was 64. Travis Kelce had 12 yards in his possible final game in the NFL. Unfortunate. Aludicon lost 2 fumbles. They got 3 sacks. 2 coming from Chris Jones to cap off his season. Shamari Connor with an interception. Butker with 12 points. All the points they scored in this game. 6 points for Ariza. Now the Raiders. It was Aiden O'Connell in this game. 102. I think in the only game he played this year. Ashton Jeanty ends his rookie campaign off with 87 rushing yards in this game. Michael Mayer with 47 yards. Fumble Rama over here. Tyree Wilson with 6 tackles and 2 sacks. Nice. They got 8 sacks on the Chiefs in this game. Hell yeah, dude. No picks. Carlson with 12 points and 6 punts for Cole. I think the Raiders might be one of the biggest wins from this week. They beat their most hated rival, and they got the number 1 pick to ruin Fernando Mendoza's career. Patriots beat the Dolphins 38-10. No one's shocked by this. Quinn Ewers, 131, a touchdown, a pick. The rushing was abysmal. Touchdown went to Malik Washington. Weeze led with 44. Jalen Wright had 2 fumbles, 9 tackles for Brooks. No sacks or interceptions. Their defense just got thrown around and skinned alive for the entire game. 4 points for Patterson. Now the Patriots, Drake May, 191 and a touchdown. Stevenson had 7 carries and 2 touchdowns. Travion also had 2 touchdowns. I think a lot of people owe Stevenson an apology, calling him a worthless piece of crap because people just thought that, but no, he's actually a good running back. Hunter Henry with 56 receiving yards. Touchdown went to Stevenson in the air as well. Tavai with 8 tackles. They got 4 sacks and a pick on Ewers. Came from Hawkins. 8 points for Andy and 3 points for Behringer. Josh Johnson beats Tanner McKee. This is peak football right here. 24-17. This game really didn't matter. Eagles were benching their starters. And Josh Johnson, I think his 10th career start, 2nd career win. Congrats. 131, a touchdown, a pick. Rodriguez and Johnson had a rushing touchdowns. Receiving touchdown went to John Bates. 3 people fumbled. 7 tackles for Jones. They got 3 sacks and a pick from Reeves. Moody with 6 points. 3 points for Tressway. Now Philly. McKee, 241, a touchdown and a pick. Bigsby with a touchdown and 75 yards. Touchdown went to Calcaterra in the air. Hunt lost a fumble. Trotter with 12 tackles. Jalix Hunt with a pick. Elliott, 5 points, 3 points for Jaden Mann. Get ready for the playoffs, Eagles, and please beat the 49ers. Lions beat the Bears, but at what cost? Because they came in 4th place in their division this year. Good fucking job, Lions. Goff, though, ended it on a high note, 331, a touchdown and a pick. Gibbs, 80 yards. St. Brown, 139, touchdown went to Gibbs. 11 tackles for Campbell, a sack for Hutchinson. A pick from Maddox. 13 points for Bates, including the game-winning field goal as time expired, and 2 points for Fox. Now the Bears, Caleb, 212, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Swift with 40 rushing yards. Loveland, 91 and a score. Another great game out of him. Jade Walker had a touchdown. Caleb recovered a fumble. 8 tackles for Edmonds. They got 3 sacks. Kevin Byard got another interception. No kicking at all. And 4 punts for Torrey Taylor. Bills beat the Jets 35-8. The Jets made history for all the wrong reasons. They are the first team to not record an interception in a season. With a defensive-minded head coach, former defensive back, might I add. Anthony Glenn is an atrocity of a head coach, my guy. I don't care if it's been 1 year. He doesn't know what he's doing. Brady Cook, 60 yards and a touchdown. Khalil Herbert almost had more rushing yards than Cook had passing yards. Touchdown went to Andrew Beck in the fourth quarter. I believe he's a fullback, so nice. Smith with 15 tackles, no sacks, obviously no picks, no kicking. And Austin with 5 punts. And now Trubisky, his 1 star of the year, 259, 4 touchdowns. Hell yeah, dude. Ray Davis, 151. Ty Johnson had the touchdown. Keon Coleman with 49 yards. Gabe Davis, Knox, and Davis had the receiving touchdowns. No fumbles, 8 tackles for Dorian Williams, a sack from TJ Sanders, no picks. Matt Prater with 3 points and not 1 punt from the Buffalo Bills. And the Steelers escaped the Ravens 26-24 in the final game of the regular season of the 2025 NFL season. What a finish. 27 points in the fourth quarter. Man, Lamar, I feel bad, man. He did everything in this game just for his kicker to fucking shank it at the end. 238, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Derrick Henry, 126. I mean, most of this was from the first half, but man, he killed all game long. Zay Flowers, 4 for 138, 2 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure that's the exact same stat line that Alec Pierce had. Crazy. Walker had a wide open touchdown pretty much in the start of this game. No fumbles, 9 tackles for Simpson, sack for Tavius Robinson and Travis Jones, no interceptions. Loop was 6 points. Man, he has to go back to Baltimore after this. Man, 4 punts for Stout. Now the Steelers, the AFC North champions at 10-7. Rodgers, 294 and a touchdown. Warren, 66 yards. Kenneth Gainwell had a touchdown. Connor Hayward had a touchdown. Gainwell, 64 receiving yards. Austin had a touchdown. Man, if there was an award for most out-of-nowhere unsung hero this year, Kenneth Gainwell has his name on it. He has been the best player on the Steelers offense, without a doubt, this year. He's been so clutch for them all season long. He has earned himself another contract in the NFL. 7 tackles for Hayward, a sack for Highsmith, a sack for Harmon, a sack for Herbig. TJ Watt with an interception in his first game back. Boswell with 8 points, missed that extra point with like a minute left. The Ravens marched down the field all for nothing for their kicker to shank it. Now he has to go back to Baltimore. Man, if I was him, I'd probably just straight up retire and never go back to Baltimore again. Man, he's in for a rude awakening. 3 punts for Waitman. Now the Steelers get to play the Texans, I believe. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn the notification bell on so you'll never miss an upload. I will see you in the next video. Go Hawks!